Chatty the Mad Chatter has been working tirelessly behind the scenes to decide who will win a place to attend the Mad Chatter's Tea Party to celebrate bookish excellence. Only those who have a chatty, a constantly high-achieving tale that transcends excellent reading, will be able to attend. Deciding who receives a chatty, for those who rely on audio, let me explain the brilliant pun. It is spelled CHATTEA. Whoever receives is decided completely in an unbiased, scientific, fair way by our very own Mad Chatter and founder herself, Chatty the Mad Chatter. If there is a high number of fantasy, it is purely coincidental and not the natural bias of Chatty the Mad Chatter.
Welcome, chatterers, fellow readers, and books of all shapes and sizes to the long-awaited annual tea party that every book wants to attend. We apologise for not being able to bring you the 2023 awards, but please do not worry. This was due to just a clash of commitments, but oh, sorry, hold on. Oh, no one was aware this award. Oh, and didn't know it wasn't aired. Okay, well, that's a bit rude. And we're going to do it anyway. Yes, do not worry, everybody. I will still bring you the 2023 awards as well as this year's 2024 awards. All chatty winners will be discussed here, and then the winning books will go on to celebrate. Hooray! Okay, just the cameras have stopped recording, so just while you're in my green room with me, let me just give you a little update. So, 2023 books are going to be everything that I read from December 2022 to November 2023. The 2024 books are going to be from everything I read in December 23 to November 2024, just in case you're confused. It's just how I've recorded it, and we're just going with it from there. It was really hard. I'm so lucky. I read amazing books. Like 2023 was difficult for me to work out, but 2024, I literally, up until this moment of filming, was still trying to work out exactly who was winning, who was entered for which categories, and it was just difficult because I have been so lucky to read so many amazing books this year, which is so good and exactly what this is about. But I do want to be able to share some of my favourites for very different reasons so that these books can be talked about and everyone can enjoy. So the filming of this is not edited. It is one long continuous shot. The camera keeps rolling and I have the power of pause to change locations and add the books in and out. So hopefully minimum crazy, hopefully just the one video. We will see. If anyone did delve into my vaults or has been following me long enough and can remember the chatties from 2022, I have reduced Tweedletee's role in interviewing the books quite significantly because we have so many to get through. She's just going to announce the nominees, and then next year when I'm back on track and I will just be talking about 1 year of books, I will let her have a little bit more full reign to interview the books because I did enjoy doing that. Anyway, I'm not editing because this would just take forever and you'd never see this video. I already have 3 videos I'm in the process of editing, and editing just seems to take me a long time. So if I do one shot and we just keep going, you're more likely to get this video, and I'm going to have the joy of actually getting it out and published and in the world so you can see these wonderful books. So, tiny teacups at the ready. Cheers, everyone. Clink, 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 clink. Okay, and the camera's going to be back on shortly, so I'm going to go grab a drink of water. Hello, everyone, and it is my absolute pleasure to be back to deliver the Chatty Awards again for you all. There are 10 categories that we will be going for. There are 10 seats available at the Mad Chatter Tea Party for 23 and 10 seats available for 2024. So let's see what we are going to be looking at for the first seat. It is Best Plot. And here to bring back our wonderful award is the 2022 book, which was The Memory of Souls by Jen Lyons. This is an adult epic fantasy. It's the 3rd book in the Chorus of Dragons. Thank you so much, Memory of Souls, for returning our golden teacup. Now let's see who is going to be winning the 2023. The winner of the 2023 Best Plot book goes to Binti by Nnedi Okorafor. Thank you so much, Memory of Souls. Pleasure. So we have Binti by Nnedi Okorafor. This is a sci-fi African futurism novella. It is the first in a trilogy of novellas, and this book, so much in this book, how it all wove together, where our character starts, all of the themes that were explored in this. There is racism, there is forgiveness, there is sort of like recovering from trauma. There is so much within this book. I loved the journey we went on, how Nnedi Okorafor took us there, and where we left off. So this was absolutely fantastic, which it is why it is the 2023 winner for Best Plot and wins a seat at the Mad Chatter Tea Party. To find out who the 2024 nominees are, we're going to go over to Tweedledee to hear about the contenders. Hello, Chatty! It's so amazing to be back presenting with you again. Oh, golly, it's all happening here. The books are just so excited. They're throwing themselves off the shelf. That was The Toll by Neil Schusterman here. It's a dystopia and the third book in Arc of a Scythe. We also have City of Brass, which is, oh golly, the Toll just can't wait. I think it needs to go for a lie down. We'll just pop it there. We have The City of Brass by S.A. Chakraborty, which is the first book in the Davabad trilogy, which is an adult epic fantasy. We have The Hunger of the Gods by John Gwynne, which is the second book in the Bloodsworn saga. And, oh, we have a little note here. I think someone couldn't make it. Oh, yes, it is. He Who Drowned the World by Shelley Parker Chan sends their apologies. They'd love to be with us, but unfortunately they're stuck in the library and can't attend. I can't wait to find out who's got the best plot. I can't get my words right, Chatty. Over to you. Thank you, Tweedledee. All looks fun and games out there. Okay, the winner of the 2024 Best Plot is He Who Drowned the World by Shelley Parker Chan. So unfortunately, I don't have a book to place here, but I do have a video where I talk about Are You Sleeping on this duology, where I talk about both the first book in that duology, She Who Became the Sun, as well as He Who Drowned the World, which I read this year. It is a adult historical epic inspired by Chinese history, and the themes that Shelley Parker Chan explores within this duology is amazing. And He Who Drowned the World just kind of took where we'd got to in the first book and just pulled out all those themes, all the characters that had set up. We started going in different ways we hadn't expected. They had brand new journeys, but all wonderfully exploring kind of like the concept of duty, of loyalty, of power, of gender, and of what all those different things means. It was just incredible. And this book was published in 2023, and I highly recommend, if you like epics, if you like historical books, do check it out. There is some fantasy in it, but it's more of a fantastical element. It's not that much of a fantasy. And please go and check out the video that I will have linked, where I go into a lot more detail about these books. So yes, the first winner for 2024 is He Who Drowned the World. Let's move on to the next award. The second seat available at the Mad Chatter Tea Party goes to the most atmospherical book. And here to bring back the award is the winner of the 2022 Most Atmospherical Award, The Starless Sea by Erin Morgenstern. So thank you so much, Starless Sea, for returning the Golden Teacup to us for us to give to the 2023 winner. And that winner is A Pinch of Magic by Michelle Harrison. So here is A Pinch of Magic by Michelle Harrison. It is a middle grade fantasy book, and it was published in 2019. This has a really wonderful legend within it. You really get the feel of kind of some sinister aspects that are on some of these islands, this claustrophobia that's happening here, but also this sense of magical joy with these magical items, this bond between sisters, and it's just so beautifully put together, and you really feel in that place. Michelle Harrison did such a good job with this book. So there we go, that is the 2023 winner. Thank you very much, Stardust Thief. We'll just pop you down there, and I know you're going to fall, so I'll hold you up, pinch of magic. So to find out what the nominees are for 2024, we're going to go back to Tweedledee. Hi, Chatty. Ooh, you can cut the atmosphere with a knife here, if you pardon the pun. So I've got with me Root Magic by Eden Royce, Wilder Than Midnight by Kerry Burnell, Sisters of the Last Marsh by Lucy Strange, Daughter of the Moon Goddess by Sulin Tan, and The Stardust Thief by Chelsea Abdullah. Ooh, we'll find out soon enough who wins. Thank you, Tweedledee. So the Most Atmospherical does a really important job of setting the scene, laying out all the vibes, and giving you the chills, the delights, and the tension. So the 2024 winner for Most Atmospherical is Root Magic by Eden Royce. This is a middle grade spooky fantasy, and it was published in 2021. What I love about Root Magic is how it really just kind of makes you feel all of the mystery. At the same time, as well as having been like a joy within learning this magic, there is also a kind of like it's sort of like a fear and tension sort of behind it as well. It's also historical, so it's actually set in 1963. So as well as being a fantasy, it's a historical fantasy with spooky vibes. So it's a lovely genre mashup. So you also have this kind of tension sort of away from where our protagonist is learning magic, sort of within the school. You've got racial tensions, you've got classism going on, and I think it's just beautifully put together and really just gives you all of the feels, and I absolutely loved it. Now we move on to our next award. So the third seat at the tea party is for the best crafted book. So this is looking at the style, the layout, the format, the length, the pacing, like everything that kind of pulls the book together to kind of give you the reading experience it does. So winner of the 2022 award and returning the Golden Teacup is The Long Way Down by Jason Reynolds. This is a novel in verse. It is a YA contemporary. So thank you so much, Long Way Down, for attending the award. And I will now reveal what the 2023 winner is. I don't trust that book's not going to fall down, but it seems to be working at the moment. Okay. The winner for Best Crafted in 2023 is Her Majesty's Royal Coven by Juno Dawson. So here we have Her Majesty's Royal Coven. This is the first book in the Her Majesty's Royal Coven series, and this is a adult fantasy sort of like set in present day in Britain with witches. It was published in 2022, and what I really loved about how this story pulled together is you start off feeling sort of one thing, that you're getting this kind of idea of these friends and their stories and kind of what the danger element is, and then there's a theme and a characters and some things that need exploring that start being pulled out and start taking you in completely different directions. And I just thought it was pulled together really well. I think the layers of the past and kind of this political setup and the friendships that they had and the different characters that are involved in here just kind of layer in really nicely. And I think Juno Dawson just did a great job of exploring things through this book that I thought were just done exquisitely. And being really vague because I don't want to give you spoilers, okay? Right, to find out the 2024 winner of Best Crafted, we're going to go back to Tweedledee and see what our nominees are. So here they are, the crafty ones. We have got Hamra and the Jungle of Memories by Hannah Alcaf. We've got The Cat Who Saved Books by Suzuki Natsukawa. We have got The Trouble with Mrs Montgomery Hurst by Katie Lumsden. And, got another little note here. Okay, so, my microphone. Unfortunately, When Stars Are Scattered by Omar Mohammed and Victoria Jameson couldn't make it because they're stuck in the library as well. But they hope we all have a fun time. So there we go. Let's find out who the winner is. Over to you, Chatty.
Thank you. So I'm very excited to announce the 2024 winner for Best Crafted Book goes to The Trouble with Mrs Montgomery Hurst by Katie Lumsden. So this book was published this year in 2024 and it is an adult historical fiction set in Wickenshire in 1841. I absolutely loved this book. I read it so quickly, and that's not easy because it's quite thick. But it was just, the pacing of it was just perfect. We are following lots of different people within this county. Within that, we've got people of various different class, various different financial means, and kind of like we've got this sort of small village atmosphere of how all these characters interact, know about each other, societal pressures, societal views, and kind of the choices that they make throughout all of that. And I thought just the flow of it just worked so perfectly. One, the writing's amazing. It really, there's a lot of humour in there, but there's also a lot of serious topics as well. And I thought that was perfectly balanced. And just how you go on this journey through these characters, and just giving enough time to all the different stories in here, how they all weave together and how it steps off at the beginning and where you get to at the end and how it pulls everything together. I want another book set in this county. I want to see what else Katie Lumsden can craft together because this was fantastic. The fourth seat at the Mad Chatter Tea Party will be going to the book that is the most hard-hitting. And by this, I'm talking about what book gave me lots of different emotions, really strong emotional reactions to the story, what was really impactful. That is kind of the things I'm looking at in the most hard-hitting. Returning the Golden Teacup is our 2022 winner, who unfortunately can't be here with us today, but that was Somebody Give This Heart a Pen by Sophia Thacker, and it is a poetry collection. But we have the Golden Teacup anyway, and I'm sure that book will make its way to my personal library at some point. So I will now announce the 2023 winner for the most hard-hitting book. It is Know My Name by Chanel Miller. This book, again, I don't have a physical copy, it's in the library. This book is a memoir. And it is the story of Chanel, in her own words, explaining her journey through being a rape survivor. And not only that, but someone who there was a lot of media attention to her particular case. She was raped on a college campus. And it was her journey of like how the trial went, and how she had to fight for justice, and how not only did she had that traumatic event that she had to make sense of and come to terms with, she had to keep reliving that. And she also had to justify why that act was abhorrent and why she did not bring it on herself and why she is not to blame for this. And all of that, her whole family, the effects of it, just everything that she went through, it's just so powerfully delivered within this book. So on that note, over to Tweedledee for the 2024 nominees.
Thanks, Chatty.
Okay, I'm here with our nominees for the most hard-hitting books. We've got Ghost by Jason Reynolds. We've got Us Against You. Oh, sorry, no. Us Against You is coming to collect the award on behalf of Beartown, which is the book that's nominated, but unfortunately can't be with us today because they're being read in a different household. So that's a good thing, I think. We have Paris Dallin Car is About to Crumble by Alexis Hall.
And we have A People's History of Heaven by Mathange Subnamara. And we've got another little envelope, so we'll see who's sending their apologies now. I'm getting the hang of this. Okay, we've got I'm Afraid of Men by Vivek Shaira. Unfortunately, again, can't be with us today because they are... Yes, that's right. They're also in the library as well. Lots of good books out there in the library today. Okay, back to Chatty for the winner announcement. Thank you. So the winner for the most hard-hitting book in 2024 goes to A People's History of Heaven. So A People's History of Heaven is a contemporary fiction, possibly literary fiction, by Mathange Subramania, and it was published in 2019. This book follows 5 different girls, and also you find out about their mothers and their grandmothers and their family setup, and it all takes place in this slum, which is known as Heaven, and just the community they have, the different journeys they go on, and the different lives, the different sacrifices, different things that happen to them all. And it was so raw. There was just so many things in it that got me emotionally. It was really, really impactful. And it just, I can't really justify it with words. But yeah, it was an amazing read. And it made me cry. It made me just absolutely want to pull these characters into my heart. Just all the different things they went through, their friendship group, and what they were facing together as a family. And you do kind of just keep wondering what is the outcome for all of these children. And I just thought it was beautifully done. So there we go. That is the most hard-hitting book for 2024. The 5th seat at the Chatt-Teas party is actually one that 4 different people need to share. And that is for the best character. I love characters, so I obviously struggle to narrow down to just one. So what I have done is I do a range of categories for best character. So we're going to be starting off with the best character that is a maturer character. So the winner of the 2022 one was Night Eyes in Fool's Errand by Robert Hobb. So thank you again for returning the Golden Teacup. And the winner for the 2023 best character goes to Mrs Flickertint. And here to collect it on her behalf is Rumblestar. Mrs Flickertint is in Crackledawn Dragon by Abby Elphinstone. And Rumblestar is the first book in the, what's it called? The Unmapped Chronicles. So the final book, we follow 2 children, and one of the children has a friend that is a chameleon, and she's called Mrs Flickertint, and she is delightful, and everyone needs a Mrs Flickertint in their life. She gives you excellent advice in sort of a warm Nana kind of mode, but is very firm and strong and will root for you, and she's just gorgeous. Just honestly, if you love middle grade, read the Unmapped Chronicles, and I guarantee you will fall in love with Mrs Flickertint. So the 2024 best mature character goes to Mosscap in A Psalm for the Wild Built. Unfortunately, Psalm for the Wild Built can't be with us today because they're in the library. But Mosscap is a robot. Psalm for the Wild Built is by Becky Chambers, and it is the first book in what is currently a duology. I really hope there are more books, but we have heard nothing. So maybe it's just a duology called the Monk and Robot Duology. So the monk is a tea monk, and whilst finding themselves, they come across Mosscap. It was a robot that's been released, who got their freedom years and years ago with all the other robots, and now roams the wild. And I love it when we have a character that's trying to understand what it's like to be human. That always gives me so much joy. So Mosscap was just delightful. The interactions that they have just really pulled on my heartstrings. So yes, Mosscap is the best mature character for 2024. We are now moving on to the youngest no, not the youngest, the young character, so youthful, like a sort of a young adulty type of character. So they've just become an adult. They've just started the journey of adulthood, not got as much experience as the more mature character, but they're no longer a child. So returning the golden teacup is Prunella from Sorcerer to the Crown. Prunella is one of my favourite characters, but I'm not talking about this. This is just the returning book. So thank you, Sorcerer to the Crown by Zen Cho, bringing the golden teacup back. Our 2023 winner for the best young character is Saoirse from Sing Me to Sleep by Gabby Burton. This is a YA fantasy. It's part of a duology, and Saoirse is a siren. I've not read about a siren before, so that unique perspective was amazing. And Gabby Burton did not shy away from the difficulty and the, I suppose, more monstrous nature of a siren, that they will kill people. So this was balanced with Saoirse's loyalty, Saoirse's dreams, Saoirse's ambitions, and kind of the how she kind of like manages the political position she's in, the awkward position she's in. There's lots of things going on, and I just really enjoyed Saoirse's journey throughout this book. The winner for the 2024 Best Young Character, young adult character, goes to Terrain from The Unbroken by C.L. Clarke. So this is an adult fantasy. It has got a lot of politicking in it, and there is, what's the word? And colonialism. Terrain is a soldier that comes from the country that has been colonized, but has been brought up by the oppressors. And I just find her absolutely fascinating. Like the choices she makes, what she's trying to do, all the difficult decisions. And she's just a bit blunt and dour, and I just find it really charming. I obviously rooted for her the whole time. And I had to pause the book because I was really concerned about what on earth was going to happen when stuff was about to go down. I had to pause it for quite a while before I could continue again. So yes, Terrain is my favourite young adult character from 2024 books I've read. Okay, now this is the youngest. This is the child character. So the best character who is a child from 2022, returning the golden teacup, is Onyeka by Taro Akaguru. Onyeka is a middle grade sci fantasy. And thank you very much for returning the golden teacup. I hope you enjoyed it. The 2023 best character that's a child goes to B from Fool's Assassin by Robin Hobb. Oh, I love B. So B is a new character in the realm of the Eldlings by the time you get to the 5th series, which is Fitz and the Fool. But they are fascinating. She's really she has to kind of like grow up quickly. She's really interesting. I love the relationship she has, and just absolutely root for her, want all the best things for her, and she's adorable. We know Robin Hobb writes amazing characters, and B is just one of the best new ones that she's written. So love B. And announcing the 2024 best character who is a child, we have Alpha and Badger from The Secrets of Haven Point. So I love the characters in The Secrets of Haven Point. It was such an amazing story. But the friendship between Badger and Alpha was just gorgeous. They just have each other's backs. They also have some disagreements. There's just something, it just felt so real. Like the way Lisette Orton portrayed their friendship. It just felt so truthful. Both of these characters are disabled, and that doesn't stop them. It's not a pity party, it's just a part of them, and they continue to be their fabulous selves, and they're just delightful. And finally, we have the not so nice part. We have the villain, the best villain. So, Returning the Golden Teacup from 2022 is a character from The Ship of Destiny by Robin Hobb. And I'm not telling you who it is because I don't want to give you spoilers. But there's many characters in here that I can very happily hate. So, if you watched my a wrap-up of August 2022, I will be revealing in the spoiler section who my most hated character in this book is. That you do hear, yes, there we go, that one from that book, right there. The 2023 most hated character, the best villain from 2023 for me was another Hobb character, because she just writes villains. The best. And it's a character that is in the Chronicles of the Rainwild Chronicles. So it's the 4th series in the Realm of the Elderlings. It's in the Rainwild Chronicles. And you know quite early on in the book that you dislike this character. So if you are planning on reading the Rainwild Chronicles, if you're planning on reading Hobb and you do not want to know any spoilers whatsoever, please skip ahead. I will timestamp it for you. And then you don't need to be spoiled. So skip ahead now, because I'm going to tell you. My worst character is Hest. Hest is the Villainous character from Dragon Keeper. He is a bully. He is emotionally abusive to all of his partners. And he is despicable and gaslights, and I want to hit him, and he's appalling. So yeah, Hobb really writes amazing villains that you love hating and just really despise. So Hest is the 2023 winner of Best Villain Character. Okay, welcome back everyone who didn't want to be spoilt. We're now going on to the 2024 Best Villain, and that is Rotter from the Blood Sworn Saga. I could hold up either Hunger or Fury of the Gods for this one, but yes, I've gone with Hunger of the Gods, because that's when Rotter, does he first appear or does he appear in shadow? Anyway, you get a lot more of Rotter in the Hunger of the Gods, and it's just his conniving, the way he tries to draw people in, the way he makes people do things and just doesn't care about them and just completely discards them, and he's just really creepy. You just feel just disgusted by him, and that continues throughout the Fury of the Gods. And he's never introduced as a potentially nice character. He's introduced, this is the rat god, and continues to the historic stereotypical rats are creepy vermin. Apologies if you like rats. They're not portrayed the best. But yeah, I enjoyed being creeped out by Rotter. Thanks. Okay, that is all the characters. We're going to move on to the next award. We are now going to be looking at the best non-science fiction or fantasy book, because the majority of what I read is on the fantastical side. So this is to make sure I'm giving a shout out to books that are not. Most of my categories and a lot of the things that kind of I'm drawn towards do fit kind of better into the fantasy setting. So this is just trying to level the playing field a bit. So Returning the Golden Teacup is the 2022 winner, which is Firekeeper's Daughter by Angeline Boulet. And the winner for the 2023 Best Non-SFF book is Genderqueer by Maya Kabay. This is a graphic novel memoir, and it was published in 2022. This made me really emotional, and it's absolutely gorgeous. Just the artwork in here, the way it shares the emotion of the story, the way Maya bravely just shares their journey of growing up and not sort of knowing where they fit in and finding out what feels like their true self, and being able to express that and live like that. It was just so moving, so beautifully done, and I loved it. So we're now going to go back and see Tweedledee and find out what the 2024 nominees are. Hi Chatty, we can't wait for the winner. So I'm here with the non-SFF books. That's Keedy by Elle McNichol, Solitaire by Alice Oseman, Jamie by L.D. Lipinski, and They, She, He by Shira Baylor. And the winner of the best non-SFF book for 2024 goes to Keedy by Elle McNichol. So Keedy was published in 2024 and is a contemporary middle grade. It follows on from A Kind of Spark, which is about Keedy's sister Addie. What I just loved about Keedy is Keedy. Keedy was amazing. The whole book, the way it just kind of like took you through Keedy's journey, her relationships with her sisters, kind of like how she managed herself, within school, at home, how she felt strongly about bullying and standing up for people. Keedy is neurodivergent, and there are lots of things that are different for her than for neurotypical people, and we really just got to get an amazing understanding of her character, and it was just a fantastic book. For the 7th seat at the table, it will be going to the book that is the most immersive. So the most immersive is looking at the detailed world, thinking about empathetic characters, and something that just really sucks you in to the story, that you feel you're there, you're part of it. So the 2022 winner, returning the Golden Teacup, is Amari and the Night Brothers by B.B. Alston, which is a middle grade fantasy. The winner for 2023 most immersive book is Lonely Castle in the Mirror. And unfortunately, Lonely Castle in the Mirror can't be with us today because they're taking a long time to become part of my personal library, but I will tell you all about them. So this is a YA novel. It is by Mizuki Tsusujimara, and it is translated from Japanese by Philip Gabriel, and was published in 2017. It's sort of a magical realism story, and it's sort of about healing to a certain extent. There's 7 characters, and they get pulled into this portal, pulled through this portal into this place where they all meet each other and start to find out a little bit more about each other. We follow our protagonist, and we hear about sort of like her journey, her difficulties with school, what's been happening to her, why she's been struggling to go back to school. She's being bullied, and how she starts trying to find a strength within herself by her journeys to the Lonely Castle in the Mirror. And it's just heartwarming, beautifully done. I just couldn't stop reading it. And it's something where when you talk about it, it doesn't sound like it's a lot, but when you're reading it, it just takes you over. You are just obsessed and just in that world, and I can't praise it enough, really. So let's see what we have in store from 2024, and we're back with Tweedledee to cast some light on those nominees. Thank you, Chatty. Let's immerse ourselves with these nominees. So first up, we have Amari and the Despicable Wonders by B.B. Alston. We have The Unbroken by C.L. Clarke. We have Greenwild, The World Behind the Door by Parry Thomas. We have A Kingdom of Copper by S.A. Chakraborty, and we have The Hunger of the Gods by John Gwynne. Back to you, Chatty. Thanks, Tweedledee. I think you've been immersing yourself so much, your accent's all over the place. So, the 2024 winner for the most immersive book goes to The Kingdom of Copper by S.A. Chakraborty. This is the second book in the Daevabad trilogy. And I don't even know where to begin talking to you about what's between its pages because it's so vast. The world building in it is so rich. Everything here about Daevabad. We also have some of the other homelands that the different Jinn come from. We have all of the politicking from inside Daevabad between all the different factors, and it's just immense, and I just could not stop reading it. I'm just so invested in all of the characters, not sure what to do for the best, not sure what choices they're going to make. Something happened, you get excited for them, and then something else happens that kind of screws up all the plans, and just the politicking is absolutely top notch. Like all of the stuff they're going on to sort of like try and support the people and help the people and keep the peace is just amazing. Add into that like magical elements, the history, the lore, the characters' relationships with each other, and you were just absolutely pulled into this world, and you're in, and absolutely loved it. Just brilliant. The next seat is given to the book giving the best good vibes. So our 2022 winner, returning the Golden Teacup, is Frostheart by Jamie Littler, which is a middle grade polar fantasy. And the winner for 2023 is, can't get the page, The Order of the Pure Moon Reflected in Water by Zen Cho. This is a novella, and it is about some bandits and a nun, and that's kind of all I can say. It's a novella. It's gonna give too much away otherwise. But it was just joyful. I love Zen Cho's writing. I love her humour. I love her characters. I love how she has fun with them all. But you just go on this journey with them, and it's the banter between all the characters and the journey they go on and how they react to things. It's just pure joy, basically. I read this and was just smiling the whole way through. There are stakes in it. Don't get me wrong. There are stakes in it, but it's just delightful. So again, let's go over to Tweedledee for the 2024 nominees for the book giving the best good vibes. Thanks, Chatty. So I'm here vibing with all the good vibe books. So we have got Hammer and the Jungle of Memories by Hannah Alcaff. We have got Act Your Age Eve Brown by Talia Hibbert. We've got Amari and the Despicable Wonders by B.B. Alston. And we have got The Undertakers by Nicole Glover. And we've got another little note. So someone else is sending their apologies. Let's see who it is. Oh, it's A Prayer for the Crown Shy. That's the second Monk and Robot book by Becky Chambers. Well, we all can't wait to find out who's won. Back to you, Chatty. Thanks, Tweedledee. So the book giving the best good vibes from 2024 is Hammer and the Jungle of Memories by Hannah Alcaff. So this is a middle grade fantasy. It is a modern folktale that's been inspired by Red Riding Hood and was published in 2023. This just, what didn't give me joy? The whole story, how it all pulls together, the protagonist and the journey that she goes on, the friendship, the quest, the magic, the sort of the magical world that they kind of go through. It was so sort of, it gave me all those wonderful folklore vibes, but there was some humor in there. It felt very kind of like present. Like there was modern language, like they felt like modern children. acting like modern children, wanting to do their best, but also like feeling a bit sad that things that they really want to happen aren't happening. And it also had this wonderful theme about memories within it. And it was just excellently done. There was some wonderful dementia representation as well. And it was sort of heartwarming and emotional and just gorgeous all round. So I got all of the good vibes from this book. The 9th and penultimate seat for the Mad Chatter's Tea Party goes to the book that is the most epic. So here, returning our golden teacup, is our 2022 winner, which is Robin Hobb's The Ship of Magic. Think you've heard me talk enough about Robin Hobb now. This is the second series in the realm of the Elderlings. It is the first book in the Live Ship Traders. And funnily enough, although I said this was the most epic, and both this and the Ship of Destiny won awards, my actual favourite is the Mad Ship, which amuses me a lot. But this is incredibly epic, but I'm not talking about it because it's 2022, it's just returning an award. So let me tell you what the most epic book for 2023 was. It is Fool's Fate by Robin Hobb. Replace one Hobb with another Hobb. So Fool's Fate is currently my favourite book of all time. This was so epic in its emotional payoff. It was published in I've not got my notes in the right order. How terrible of me. That is incorrect. Nope. Oh, it's there at the bottom. There we go. Okay, found it now. Okay, it was 2004. Okay, Fool's Fate was published in 2004. It is in the third series of Realm of the Elderlings, which is called the Tawny Man series, and it is the third book in the Tawny Man trilogy. This features the character of Fitz that we met in the Farseer trilogy. He is now an adult, and the emotional payoff you get in this book is beyond everything. It's just, I can't put into words. I love the characters of new and old that we meet in this series, and where we've kind of got to through going through the other books, getting to this point here. So my theory with Hobb is you have the setup book, which is book 1. You have the political moving around the pieces book, which is book 2, and the third book is always the quest book. This is the quest book. But everything that had been set up, all of those relationships you've got with all of those characters, everything that had been building up and bubbling within the other 2 books, like absolutely pays off in this one and more. I'm not going to say anything else beyond that because you need to read it and it's amazing. Okay. Let's now go over for the final time to Tweedledee to find out who the 2024 nominees are for the most epic book I read. Hi Chatty, we're all raring to go here. It's gonna be epic. So the most epic I've got with me are The Kingdom of Copper by S.A. Chakraborty, The Fury of the Gods by John Gwynne, The Sky on Fire by Jen Lyons, and Rhythm of War by Brandon Sanderson. Back to you, Chatty. Bye. Bye, Tweedledee. Okay, the most epic book for 2024 goes to Rhythm of War by Brandon Sanderson. I've just got one of the 2 of my copies here. It's not just part 1, it's part 2 as well, the whole Rhythm of War. It's epic. I don't think how it can be anything other than epic. Stormlight is such a wonderfully built world, intricate magic systems, cast of characters that spans different countries within this world, occupations. We are getting very close to the end of the first era within Stormlight now. I am behind the times. I've only just finished Rhythm of War, and everyone I'm no doubt is telling me how amazing Wind and Truth is. That's great. I will get to it. Do not worry. But I am just basking in the fact I read Rhythm of War this year and it was amazing. Just again, what Sanderson does so well with these Stormlight books are the character arcs. particularly in relation to mental health and how that is explored. And just seeing two sides of different things, it's not just clear cut. Like, you can see there's not just one correct choice. You can see where other things are coming from, and you kind of understand their motivations and things that make them tick. And it's just amazing. It went in a different way that I wasn't expecting, but I loved it. We got to see more parts of the world. We got a few more questions answered. The plotting was so epic. There's so much that kind of continues and happens within the plotting. And it was, blew my mind and was everything I wanted it to be and more. So I am very excited to continue my Stormlight journey, which won't be for a while because I will once again be rereading all of the books up to rereading Rhythm of War, up to Wind and Truth, then reading Wind and Truth, being aware of the whole world. So I'm excited. So yes, Rhythm of War is the most epic book I read this year. And the final place at the Mad Chatter-Tea Party to celebrate the bookish excellence I have had this year and in 2023 is the Lifetime Achievement, which is essentially the best reread I had. So returning the Golden Teacup is our 2022 winner of the Lifetime Achievement Award, and that was, I actually gave it to the whole of the Winter Night trilogy, but I've just got the Winter of the Witch with me here to show you. I think it is possibly my favourite just because I love how it wraps it up. I'm talking about the 2022 ones again, so I just can't help it. I just love them. Okay, so yes, Winter of the Witch by Catherine Arden, the final book in the Winter Night trilogy, an adult fantasy, is returning the Golden Teacup. And the 2023 winner receiving the Golden Teacup will be Goodnight, Mr. Tom by Michelle Megorian. So I have always loved Goodnight, Mr. Tom since I first read it as a teenager. Again, so immersive, character relationships just beautifully written, and you go on such an emotional journey within this. Rereading it, I've reread it and I've reread it and I've reread it. Hadn't then read it for a few years, and then I got to read it as part of the FOMO book club with Jack from Spread Book Joy and Jem from Gem of Books, and the lovely Alice from Alice and the Giant Bookshelf, who is no longer with us, but I was delighted to chat with her about this book. Goodnight, Mr. Tom is the story of an evacuee called William Beach, who goes by Willie to start off with, and Mr. Tom, who is a rather gruff sort of older man living in the countryside. And Willie's evacuated to his house, and it's how they start to get to know each other and how it's their relationship and how they bring out the best in each other. And it just absolutely gets me every single time. There's this wonderful warmness to the village, and it's just gorgeous. And it was continued to hold up its place in my heart as one of my favourite books, and I had an amazing time rereading. So, what was my favourite reread of 2024? Which book is going to get the Lifetime Achievement Award and the final place at the Mad Chatter-Tea Party? The winner of the 2024 Lifetime Achievement goes to Amari and the Great Game by B.B. Alston. Yes, it is an Amari book that has got the Lifetime Achievement Award this year. They've got quite a short life. I forgot to say that Goodnight, Mr. Tom was actually published in 1981, so that makes sense for Lifetime Achievement. Mari's only been published in 2022, but I still feel she is absolutely worthy of this award. This is the second book in the Bureau of Supernatural Investigations by B.B. Alston, which is a middle grade fantasy. I loved rereading and getting hyped for Despicable Wonders. This book, it reminded me of just, again, how much I absolutely love the series, and the sort of different ways Amari is pulled, the different things she has to deal with. Like, it feels even bigger than in the first book. There's also a scene in this one, which is one of my favourite scenes, just for the humour and the crazy, and that is when Amari is playing a card game with her neighbours, And she actually discovers they are part of this magical world, and she had not known it throughout all this time. And they're amazing. I want them to come back. Please, can they come make another appearance, because they're my favourites. But Amari is an amazing character. I love her friendships. I love the whimsy of the world and all of its wonderful world building. I love the story. I love all the themes and things it explores in here. And it was just a wonderful, wonderful time. So there you have it. Those are all of the winning books for 23 and 24. This was supposed to be to help me make a top 10, because I can't make a top 10. I have recently released my top 10 middle grades this year, which was a challenge, but I felt happy that I managed to do it. But just of all of my books, comparing all of them and coming up with my favourite book from the whole year just seemed an impossible task. So having noted other people's award videos, I thought that seems like it's going to suit me. I'm going to have a lot of fun with this. This is going to work out really well. This was so hard. It was so hard to narrow down because I love these books so much. It was so hard to pick and choose between them. Next year, I think I will be bringing Tweedledee back a little bit more to interview the books so that you can find out more about the books rather than just which ones were up for the nominees. But any books that were nominated are books I love. I absolutely love them. It's just I only have 10 places to talk about. So sadly, I couldn't get around to talking about all of them. And there are some books that I love that didn't even make it on the nominations. Like, that's how brilliant my reading year has been. So yay! Please get chatty in the comments, because you know I love a chat. And if you have reached the end of the video but don't know what to say but want to let me know you're here, then please give me a big gold shiny trophy for the awards, or you can do a teacup. It doesn't matter, it's not golden, because we're going to a tea party, so you might as well. Please let me know if you have any thoughts on any of these books. I would love to chat with you in the comments. And most importantly, happy reading, everyone.